What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at you with another First Descendant video, and today, guys, I want to be talking to you about my Viessa Clairvoyant build. These two are a match made in heaven. This gun goes great with Viessa because of all the ice attributes and stuff it has. So we're going to jump into it right now and tell you why this is the build you should definitely give a go in First Descendant. I've been playing it all week, leveling everything up I'm going to be showing you today, and it's been definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun to play with. I'm really enjoying playing with this build. So without further ado, let's dive into this. I'm going to be starting with the gun, which is of course the Clairvoyant. Now you can see on the front here, these are the stats I rolled with it. These are the 4 stats I wanted. Although a couple are purple, they're pretty high rolls, so I kept them where they are. So you can see we have rounds per magazine, an extra 12%. That's going to be very important, and you'll find that out why very soon. Firearm critical hit rate, firearm critical hit damage, and extra chill attack. Perfect rolls here. We definitely want the crit damage and the crit rate on this because this gun is all about crit. Whereas the other day we done the Python build, was all about weak point. This is the complete opposite. It's all about crit damage on this beam rifle. So let's dive into it and see what's up. So going into the beam rifle, you can see these are the mods we are running. Let's start off with the gold one. We're going with spray and pray. When landing a firearm critical hit, which is something we do very often because it's all about crit on this gun, rounds are not consumed for 3 seconds with a cooldown of 15 seconds. Okay, that sounds really good. Lots of extra time for us to be attacking, and I'll show you why that's even more important in a moment when I show you the gun in action. We've got chill enhancement. Adding chill attack is extremely important here because of the special ability, which we'll go through in a sec. Really good. Better insight for extra critical hit rate. We also have expand weapon charge, giving ourselves more rounds in the magazine, which is extremely important for this beam rifle. Again, I'll show you why shortly. Superconductivity charge. This is specific to the beam rifle class and is extremely important for getting up to the stage 3 beam as soon as possible. We've got refrigerate gun barrel, chill attack, which is what we want on this gun. And we're also getting minus 25% fire rate, which is also very good for us on this gun. And you'll find out why in a moment. Slow R, again, perfect for this build. Firearm attack, 62%, and fire rate minus 25%. Insight focus, giving us some extra critical hit rate and some much needed firearm critical hit damage. Better concentration with some big critical hit damage, and rifling reinforcement, a staple of any gun build with the firearm attack 32%. Now, I had to max all these slots out. I had to kind of like re-up all these slots because, as you can see, 78 out of 80. If I didn't re-up every single slot, I wouldn't have got this selection of mods in here. It's just as simple as that. It's been a bit of a grind getting it done, but it's done now and I'm super happy with it. Now you might be wondering to yourself, why are you lowering the crit rates, the fire rate so much? We're down to 266 fire rate. I mean, why are we doing that? Well, I'm going to answer that in just a second. Also, notice the crit damage on this is over 3 times with 30% critical hit rate, which is lovely. The weak point damage starts off at a base of 1x, so don't even try building into the weak point damage. It's just not worth it. Okay, the reason why we're really pushing into chill attack as well with this gun is if we go and take a look at the special ability here, you can see we have the Thing Beyond, which says hitting an enemy with a stage 2 beam inflicts void gaze, which is going to give us a minus 40% chill resistance to the enemy. So they're going to take even more chill damage. And then once we get to the stage 3 beam, it's going to inflict a pulled calling on the target. Now the effect is considered to be the same as frostbite in some modes. Basically, it's like a freeze almost. And you can see here, action speed minus 90%, chill resistance minus 40 as well. So what you want to do is get to that stage 3 beam as quickly as possible so you can slow them right down and give them that 40% chill resistance buff as well. Debuff, sorry. So the boost, which I was talking about on the gun, this one over here, the conductivity charge, is really important because you want to get to that stage 3 beam as soon as possible. Now let's talk about the fire rate. Now a lot of guns, okay, you build the fire rate up like the Python. You want to build the fire rate up to make it really fast. So you can get as many bullets in as possible. Same goes for the Thunder Cage and many other guns in this game. You want the fire rate to be high, right? It gives you high DPS and all that good stuff. The thing is, with the beam rifle, it doesn't quite work like that because each bullet is not a tick. Okay, the bullets in this gun, as in the magazine, the 64 we have there, isn't so much as a bullet equals a tick of damage. It's more of a countdown. As long as the beam is on the enemy, it's got a standard like speed of ticking of damage. But what you want is for the magazine to last as long as possible. That way you can do as much damage as possible without having to reload, and you can keep that stage 3 beam on your enemy or boss, whatever you're fighting, which is why you want to lower the fire rate as much as possible. Let me demonstrate. Now we're also going to show you the mod which I've got, which is the spray and pray here, which means when we crit we get so many seconds of free ammunition. Take a look at my infinity beam. I mean, it just keeps going on and on. And not only that, we procced once on that mod, and we're going to proc again in just a sec. There we go, look at this. The mod just procced again. We've got 3 bullets for a few seconds. Look at that. That's one clip. So absolutely awesome stuff. Really, really good. And the fact that you get to proc. Now I've got it the way it's set up this way. I can actually proc the spray and pray twice. We procced it at the start, so we had 3 seconds of free ammunition at the start, and then we had 3 seconds of free ammunition towards the end of the clip. So it's a total of 6 seconds of free ammunition on this, which is extremely nice. It allows us, for quality of life as well, to run around and have our beam going continuously when we're fighting enemies. Let's talk about the damage. I mean, you saw some of the numbers there. This is against, and again, there's been comments on previous videos that I don't hit level 100 enemies. So let's just debunk that immediately. So yeah, level 100, of course, we're going up against Legion of Immortality. It's been that way since I started here. In fact, all my videos in the laboratory are all level 100. It's interesting when I hear people saying they're not. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and hit this. So you can see 79,000, 91, 115, 116. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. 107, 118. There you go. So 118,000 crits. Not bad. 119 even there towards the end. That's pretty good stuff. If we go in here and we change this to another enemy, of course, then different enemies have different levels of resistance. So if we just change to the second enemy and start shooting, let's reload our gun first of all, and then go. You can see we're going to get that mod's going to proc, and we're going to get those 3 hits. And then you can see 225, 227. Pretty nice. 168, 239. Wow. I mean, 239 crit is definitely pretty good. 241. Got some more free ammunition. Lots of 241s popping up at the end. So nearly 250,000 worth of damage on a crit, which is rather nice on this beam rifle, considering how much damage we're putting on in one go. The speed of it, it's racking up quite fast. Now, the Clairvoyant rifle is really good on its own. It puts really good damage out. You're looking at sometimes 250,000 per tick on some enemies, a little bit less on others, depending on their resistances, of course. But the gun works really well, especially when you're mowing down enemies actually in real game, playing missions and stuff. But the good thing about this gun that's even better is the fact that it's a really good pairing with Viessa, because Viessa does skill attack damages based on chill. So because this gun will reduce enemies' resistance to chill by 40%, it means that Viessa's skills are going to do more damage when they hit if you do it at the same time as the beam rifle. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what the difference is, because I'm pretty sure you guys will be interested in this one. So let's go ahead and just put a standard spell down. We're going to go ahead and just put a storm behind this enemy, just standard, and look at the damage. 1.3 million to start with, 252, another 252, and that's all we got there, another 257. So we got the big crit at the start, but we didn't get another crit after that. So let's go ahead and do another one just to see. I like to do a couple here. 252. Again, 252. And then we're looking for a 1.7 million hit. Wow, that was actually rather tasty. Okay, so 1.7 mil, that's actually kind of nice. So let's go ahead and try this again. But this time we're going to go ahead and do it with me hitting the enemy with the Clairvoyant at the same time. So we're going to be giving them that debuff, and we're looking for some numbers here. 163, 1.9 million, ladies and gentlemen, almost 2 mil on that one. Wow, that's actually pretty good. So yeah, and also it works with the other skills as well. So I mean, if you're going in and attacking an enemy here, get it to best stage 3 beam, we got that debuff on, and then go ahead and fire an ice shard. Bang, 860,000 damage. I'll take that any day of the week. If we go again, get it to stage 3 beam. Oh, I've got to reload. Whoops. Stage 3 beam again. And let's go ahead with the other ability. Bang, that's 1.1 million. 1.1 million on that skill, nearly 900,000 on the other skill, and we're hitting 2 million on the Storm. Really good damages, especially when you're fighting against mobs and you're chucking these things out. You're going to absolutely wreck enemies with this lot. So really good stuff with Viessa. The pairing with the Clairvoyant and her skill abilities is just on another level. Let's talk a little bit more about Viessa and the builds I have set up for this. Now, there's multiple ways in which you can build Viessa. You know, if you do things different to my build for Viessa, that's absolutely fine. But let me give you my build. So if you want to do what I'm doing, that's awesome too. So let's take a look at the modules for Viessa. And you can see I've got two separate settings here that I've worked on. Now this is my Storm build. Now the red mod I go for is Cold-Bloodedness. This allows me to reduce all my cooldowns and decrease my skill cost, so I can essentially get out an endless storm. If I activate Cold-Bloodedness, it puts a blue band around my arm. I can then put down a storm, and the cooldown finishes before the storm ends. So literally I can go straight away, storm again, bang. So I can have a continuous storm up. It also means for the other special abilities, I can go ahead and fire them off extremely quickly. If I go ahead and activate my Cold-Bloodedness, I can fire these almost as fast as a gun, which is extremely quick. And you can see the damage difference, 678 on a crit there. It was over 800 when we put the beam rifle on them first. And the same goes for the other ability. If we go ahead and just pop some more energy on, activate Cold-Bloodedness, we can fire this one off rather quick too. Literally a couple of seconds on the cooldown, and we can spam that attack, and they all hit really hard. So there you go, that's why I use that. Going back to the modules, the gold mod I use is Dangerous Ambush. When landing a skill attack while the enemy is not targeting you, your skill power is increased. On skill attack against immobilized enemies, skill power is 49%. So if you're going after a boss that's gone down on one knee, or if you're attacking enemies that are spawning in with your ice or your blizzard, it's actually going to do really good damage. So that's why I go for Dangerous Ambush. I go for Front Lines for extra skill critical hit damage and skill critical hit rate. I did try and switch this out for emergency measures to have increased critical hit rate, but the damage fell off a little bit, so I decided to go back to Front Lines. Battle of Stamina for some HP and skill duration, skill critical hit damage with skill concentration, focus on chill, skill chill power, and skill cooldowns. We've then got skill critical hit rate from skill insight. We've got skill expansion, which increases the range of my storm, which is really important when I'm doing as much AoE against enemies as possible, or I'm fighting a boss because they move around, so they'll stay in the storm for longer. Nimble Fingers, skill cooldowns, so we can get those instant storms out. MP conversion, which is going to reduce my skill cooldowns significantly. I do take a little hit on the MP, but with Viessa, it's never really a problem, because when you activate Cold-Bloodedness, your skill cost is reduced significantly, and I don't really ever run out of MP. And then we have Spear and Shield, defense 89%, and skill power 8.1. Gotta have some defense in there, otherwise we're just gonna get dead as soon as we go into a fight. So nice to have a bit of defense as well, and then Shock Punch, of course, or which one you use in that bottom left corner there. And that's the build I run for Viessa. What I really like about this build is the cooldowns that I have on here. If I activate Cold-Bloodedness and go back into my Descendant module, you can see here a 0.7 cooldown on the first skill. We've got 2 seconds cooldown on the third skill, and the Storm has a 6-second cooldown with a 6.5 second duration, so we can have that continuous storm out. Has a very nice radius, a really good explosion damage range at the end when the storm finishes. Overall, I believe this is set up as best as I could possibly do it. I'm really happy with this build. Now, I do have a second build that I do run with Viessa. It's what I call my Ice Floor build. It's very simple. I just use this for farming. I have made a couple of little errors here, by the way. On my Storm, I shouldn't have put the mod into Cold-Bloodedness up here. I should have put it down there on Shock Punch and left this one blank. So I made my hypothermia go to 8. I know, dumb move. I'm not going to reset to change it, and I don't need to add anything else to this set because this is purely just for killing trash mobs on farms. I have hypothermia, so I can put the ice sheet down on the floor, and which causes damage. Basically, it turns my second skill into this. It allows me to run fast, and I can put ice down the floor, and when the enemies spawn onto it, they die. So that's basically what that is, and I only use it for killing trash mobs. If I'm doing like a hard dungeon or a boss or something, I would always switch over to my Storm build, which is my main build for Viessa. But I have this Ice Floor build here, which you can take a look at here. and I use this as a secondary just to do trash mobs. But hypothermia is really, really good for that, for creating that ice track that you can run around on. It's rather nice. So you can take a look at that and screenshot that if you want to make a build like this, but there's loads of different ways to do this one. But this right here, the Storm build, this is the main build for Viessa. This is what I love to use when I want to put out as much damage as possible and absolutely destroy my enemies. Now, one other thing I want to mention about Viessa, of course, she does have her own component set, which is the Polar Knight set. You can see here I do have a full set of this, and you're going to be getting this from Dead Bride on hard mode. This is where you're going to be getting your Polar Knight set. This is really good, of course, because the 2 set gives us a 6.2% chill power boost. And then when you get into the 4 set, you're going to be getting lots of extra damage for every stack of frostbite you have, up to 6% worth of critical hit damage, which is awesome. And you get 10 stacks of this, which is extremely nice. And then it also says when defeating an enemy inflicted with frostbite, which is when you've like frozen, you see the enemy go like crystallized because they're chilled. When they've got frostbite, it inflicts additional damage equivalent to 12.2% of the enemy's max HP on enemies within 2.5 meters radius at 30% chance. So again, really nice for hitting bosses as well, I guess, right? And also if you're hitting bunches of elites and stuff, it just does extra AoE damage when you're attacking. So I mean, this is pretty good. This is quite nice. So it's really good set you want to go for. And I've got some really good rolls here, like max HP, lots of max HP, max MP, and then you get like a bit of defense and shields. Always try and get a bit of resistance. There's always room to do better rolls, but it's pretty good. And then with regards to the reactor, the last thing I want to mention, the reactor here, sorry, I went for a reactor that has tech skill and chill skill because we built into the storm. The storm is the damage dealer in this build, so I went for the tech reactor so I could go ahead and do as much damage as possible. Now the items at the bottom there, skill critical hit damage, gold roll, and skill cooldown is okay. Personally, I think the god roll here would be skill critical hit damage, and possibly skill critical hit chance would be much better to have. But it's not bad. It's not a bad reactor. So I'm not going to level it up because I want to get a better roll before I level it up with my items. But that's what I go for here because we want that tech skill. So now I've gone ahead and showed you the Clairvoyant build along with Viessa and her accessories, etc. I'd like to show you how this build performs against the boss. So we're going to go up against Hard Pyro. He's fire, so we should be pretty good with our chill attacks against him. Let's see how we do. Okay, so Hard Pyromaniac. You know, one thing I would say is it's never going to be as good as Lepic, right? That 12-second win I had against Pyro the other day on Lepic was amazing. I think Lepic's one of the only ones that can really kind of like pretty much one-shot almost an enemy in like under 15 seconds. But I'm not expecting that at all with Viessa here. I don't think the beam rifle and the storm is going to do as much damage as what Lepic's ultimate does. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to seeing some good damage, and hopefully we can take down Pyro fairly quickly. Let's take a look and see what happens. Now, I want to get him down on his knee before I use the storm because we want to use that ambush mod. So straight in with the Clairvoyance, and you can see that constant damage. We've got that stage 3 beam on his shoulder, and I'm really looking at how quickly it goes yellow here. Let's just keep on it. It's light blue. Wow, yellow already. And I get the grapple. Nice. Now I'm going to hold on tight here, and then I'm going to break his shoulder off because I want to stun him, and then I want to get that storm on him as soon as possible. Here we go. Activate the storm as I go down and drop it straight underneath him. So we've got the storm on him. I'm going back for the weak point, and that done some pretty good damage. His shield dropped significantly from that storm. Massive crit damage there. Look at his shield. It completely went. Wow, that was actually pretty impressive. I wasn't expecting to see that much damage from Viessa here. So, yo, so far, I'm kind of digging the beam rifle build here. Okay, so he's got his little pigeons out. Let's throw one of our abilities up. Whack, and knock that out the sky immediately with one shot. Back on the arm. Up for the grab. Let's go. Let's go. Take his shoulder out. Hold on tight. And then we're going to go ahead and take that second shoulder off. We're going to get the storm ready. Once again, storm goes underneath him. And look at the damage on the health bar, ladies and gents. Look at the crits as it's ticking. Wow. Absolutely insane damage as he goes down. We're going to keep on him. Keep on him. Keep on him. Doing pretty good. Is he going to go immune, or are we going to finish him off here? I don't know. I'm going to try and keep that clairvoyance. So I'm going to put another storm underneath him. Going to get some more damage on him. Oh, it's so close. Oh, he's got immune! No! Okay. Okay, yo, that was actually pretty good. I mean, I ran that and we got some good crits on the Storm, wiped out his entire shield and 90% of his life off the back of just 3 Storms is all I used in this fight so far. Clairvoyance done a really good job of draining his shoulder pads, enabling us to get up there and break them off. And right now, I'm just going to go ahead and grab some health, grab some MP, and just try and stay away from him while he's in his immune stage. I could technically, I could go and target that little pink thing on his back to try and finish him off with such low amount of health he has. But I just decided to go after the mobs and wait for him to get out of his immune stage. And then we'll go ahead and finish him. But that was actually really good. I'm actually really happy with the damage we done there. He is now back out of his immune stage. I'm going to put another Storm underneath him. Hit him with a special. Bang. There we go. And you're finished. And that is the end of Pyromaniac. Let's get it. There you go, guys. That's my Viessa Clairvoyance build. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to press like and subscribe for more First Descendant content, as there's plenty more on the way. I'll catch you in the next one, but until then, you know how this next bit's gonna go. Stay safe, everyone, and of course, peace out.